I think I've definitely found the more you exist in an area that is not in your comfort zone, the easier the challenges that life throws at you are to cope with. Because rarely, having a young son, you go through those weeks and months of having very little sleep, but then you take yourself back to times when you might not have slept for days on military training things. So yeah, definitely I think one of the things that's brought me through is the more I challenge myself, the easier normal life gets. It feels like you're playing life on easy mode when when you've done the harder things. So people buy a home with their heart generally. So the first thing that they do is they fall in love with it, and then the head kicks in afterwards and does the sort of due diligence and is the local school good enough for my son, or is the commute short enough? But you have to tug at their heartstrings in the first instance to get them engaged in that property. And that's what we did. So too many people, I think, when you read their autobiographies, they look back and say, I wasn't there for my children, or I wasn't there for my wife, or or my health suffered for 20 years because I wasn't getting enough sleep, or I wasn't getting enough exercise. And I think it's all well and good being on that yacht in Monaco, but if you are your children don't want to know you anymore because you weren't there present in their upbringing, is that success? Well, for me that's not. For me it's keeping everything. So healthy, happy home life and successful business. For me that's the dream. I've always taken a lot of advice. So whenever before I do anything, I always ask the sort of trusted circle of people around me, family and friends, and I think the more people you speak to and take on board what they're saying, the better. But then you've just got to listen to the voice within and say, that's your sort of due diligence of, they're going to often tell you about the risks and the reasons why you shouldn't do it. And then it's whether enough the drive is powerful enough inside you to say, okay, well, despite those risks, I can mitigate them or I can offset them with X, Y, Z, having contingency funds in place if it doesn't work out for the first couple of years. And then, once you jump out of the aeroplane, then it's right now we're committed. We've got to go for it, and we're going to go 100%. And that's been what I've always lived by. Is you do your due diligence, you think about the risks, and then you take the risk. And once you've gone to that point, then it's give it everything you've got. You can't give any more than that. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, you can say I've given it my best shot.